Yes, you can. Anyway, that's all for the video. Goodbye now. Actually, wait, no, please stay, because you probably want to see how, considering you actively pressed this video. And I can show you, because I did it. So, if you don't know about the encrypted secret yet, which you should, if you don't, you're probably living under a rock, because it's all over YouTube right now. It's even probably on a Times Square billboard. It's so popular right now. Like, seriously, look at the view counts on these videos. It's insane. But anyway, to get it, you just need to place these towers in these specific spots on the gravestones, and then get a sun avatar in the middle, and a tier 5 of each category on the platforms. Then, just upgrade that salve to a temple, and you get this cool little dude who then goes underground and sucks in Moabs, and apparently does some radial damage. Huh. Okay. Here's how I did it. I originally did it before I knew that it was only a tier 5 you had to sacrifice. I thought it was like a certain amount of money that you had to sacrifice. So if I bought cheaper tier 5s, I could have gotten it way earlier. But I didn't know that, so no. My original strategy going into it was to rush Powakai, because it's just nuts, Impale for DDTs, and Energizer for faster cooldowns. I also wanted to get Spirit of the Forest for some much needed damage, and a Sabo for just, I guess, some nice slowdown. But the run didn't really end up going like that. Let's get into it. So, first I started off the run with a pretty standard 3-dart early game, and then I got a sub on round 9, which would end up turning into my Energizer later. Then I got Izili as soon as I could, just to start getting those levels going. And I put her in this spot so that she could be in Energizer range, because I thought that would end up mattering. It did not. And then I just went straight for a reactor, because it worked pretty well in the early game, and I would have to get it for Energizer anyway. And I was hoping that Izili would be able to solo every lead, because I didn't really have lead popping other than her. And she was able to. Next, I went straight for Sav, because its mid-game is pretty good, and I needed it later anyway to get the temple, so it was an efficient choice. Afterward, I went straight for Powakai, and I completely needed it to solo the game until I got Izili level 20 and Impale. The journey to afford Powakai was pretty easy, because Condor is absolutely nuts right now, and it's also an intermediate map. Once I got it, it soloed for a long time. I thought that I would be able to get Impale, Geyser, Spirit, and a Sabo, but then instantly save up to the temple and complete the challenge. Kinda worked for a while, but then I got crushed on round 138, where DDT just ran through my defense and I couldn't really do anything to stop it. I had to buy a Grand Sabo, and Grand Sabo did well. But then I got crushed on 159, where I had to buy an extra Sabo. Pretty cheap, but still a setback. Even then, I got crushed 2 rounds later by DDTs on 161, and I needed to buy a whole Absolute Zero this time, which set me back a lot, but was needed for this round and a few later rounds. After I got those, it was pretty smooth sailing, except for a few rounds which took a few tries. It turns out that I had a really lucky late game seed, and I didn't have too many bad heavy rounds, which made this challenge quite a bit easier. There were a lot of DDT rounds though, which were annoying. If you didn't know, rounds 141 onward are randomized, so you could get unlucky and have way tougher rounds than I did if you want to try this. But yeah, I was finally able to save up 108k for the temple on round 182, and now let's get the secret, or the Easter egg. Wow, this animation is really sick. Hopefully this means it's good. Let's see how far it gets. Bruh, this thing sucked!